Well, hello again, everyone. I tell you what, I am so excited. Some days are harder than others to be empowered, to be inspired. So I thank God for the ones of you that send the messages, that go to our Facebook page, that go through our direct messages and tell us how we are changing your lives through this show. Because believe it or not, the encourager often needs to be encouraged as well. So I appreciate you for doing that. You encourage me. So hopefully, again, as always, we bring you people that have lived a life that we want to share with you. So during this time where we're dealing with COVID and all kind of unforeseen circumstances, we try to bring you people that have made it to show you that you too can make it. Again, this show here, if you notice, I have a guest from one of my previous shows. I hope I keep it together. This show is very important to me. I guess you can call it a reunion show, so to speak. I don't know. But we have my friend, Miss Mangram. I love Miss Mangram. We used to work together when I was a principal at W.F. Burns, and she shared her story with you about her journey to becoming the young lady that she has become, who is phenomenal too, by the way. And in that story, she shared with you guys that there was this coach who just helped her, took her to the school, helped her get registered for college. And by some chance of God, you know I love the Lord, so you'll hear that, I met him at a conference. So I just want to welcome you, Coach Askew.
Thank you.
And I want to welcome you again, Ms. Trammell. As we get into this show, we're going to tell everybody how wonderful it is to have adults in your lives. So welcome, everyone. Welcome you. Hey, Ms. Mangram.
Hello.
It's good to see you again.
Nice to see you.
Choosing to win, girl.
Yes,
I like that outfit, too. You're looking good. You feel good, too, don't you?
I do.
How do you feel since we've shared your story? How has it changed you at all?
I think for me it was empowering. I feel like I could do more once, like I said, I shared my story.
Right.
I think it has helped others as well. So I think in helping others, it also helped me to
Right.
become more whole.
I know, I can see that smile, and you said something very important. As you helped others, you helped yourself. And I think that's where we miss it. We realize, I love to quote T.D. Jakes when he says, reciprocity means to give as much as you get. Because if you don't live through reciprocity, then you just really are not living. So I think that's what you have done. You have used your story as reciprocity. You have given and they have given to you, and it's like a cycle. And I'm amazed by that. You shared a lot. You shared about how your childhood was, the things that you went through as a child, things that we have found out by releasing your show and my book, that more young girls go through that than we would want to admit. Now let's bring in Coach Askew. I'm excited. Met you at a conference that I did not particularly want to be a part of. I was tired. You couldn't tell. Well, I'm glad I kept that under wraps. But there was a part of the conference that was crazy to me, and so I had to talk to somebody. I didn't really know anyone in the room, but we found out later a couple of people did know me, Coach. And he was one of the nice people, he and another coach, and I reached around and said something like, this is crazy. Because some stuff that we are asked to do in education is just that's just my opinion. So I'm entitled to my opinion.
Yes.
And he looked at me and he laughed, and then he realized who I was. And then I began to, of course, share about my experience of how much I love W.F. Burns and what I used to do at Burns. It's kind of like a default. And then he said, you have one of my former students. Isn't that what you said,
That's
Coach?
exactly what I said.
And I was like, you from Troop. That's what I'm thinking to myself, not knowing that you were from Lynette, but you coached and handled.
That's right.
And you said the name. And how'd you say it to me? I said, who your teacher? Who your student?
Latisha Trammell.
And you said Latisha Trammell, and I was like.
Then you said Mangram. I didn't know about that.
It's like, I was like, wow. Then we got to talking, and I said, wait a minute, you the coach. And of course, he was like, I guess I'm the coach. But what he didn't understand was he was the coach. He was the one that when you say you weren't going to college, you weren't going to be a teacher, you weren't going to do this, you weren't going to do that, he told you what?
I was going to go to college, become a teacher, and I was going to coach.
And guess what you do?
I teach and I coach.
And you had to go to college for that, right?
Right.
So, and then he also shared with me, Ms. Mangram, that I shared with him your story because it's public. And he was like, man.
I never knew that, that she was going through all that. But, even though she was going through that, I don't pry. I tried to make sure that I was focused on helping her be who I knew she could be.
With 2 babies. Now
That's
you
right.
did share
With
that
2
with me. You
babies, yeah.
said
It didn't
she
matter.
had 2. You said, did you know she had 2 babies? I said, yeah.
Because she's a very determined young lady, and
Had
I
to
saw
be.
that in her, and,
Had to be.
I just had to be there for her, you know.
What do you? How did that look? You know, because being there for her, knowing that it has. When I tell you, Coach Askew, it has, and I love that too, because we could be cousins. Because I am an Askew, so y'all need to know that. So right now he cuz, Coach cuz. How does it make you feel? Because I know the impact you had on her.
It was a normal feeling because I did it for all my players, all my whether it was a player or not, just student, period. Because I always felt like education was my calling, and the things I did for my kids, I never even thought twice about it.
Your kids?
You know,
Oh wow!
My kids, that's right.
That's right.
'Cause I never thought twice about it because I had been there ever since I started teaching there at 24.
Right.
And
how many years is it for you, Coach?
It was it's 39 years in teaching school,
Wow.
in school teaching, and I just felt like I was a part of their life and they was a part of mine.
So even though you didn't do anything different, and people often say that to me that I don't think any, and I get that because I don't know what I do. I mean, I cannot tell you what I do for kids, and I cannot tell you what I do for the people I led or still lead because it's just who I am, so I don't think anything of it. But I need you to understand it did a lot for this one young lady. So how does that make you feel to know that you changed her life?
Great. I felt good, you know, because I knew what she could be.
You knew what she could be?
Very smart and intelligent, very athletic. So I knew that was going to be her avenue to getting a better life started for herself. And I know she needed to do that. And I told her, I said, you're going to be a teacher, you're going to be a coach, and you're going to teach math.
Wow.
You know? Because I knew that math was her best subject.
Math was her best subject.
She was good in all the subjects, but math was something that she liked the most. And I told her that's what she was going to be.
I can tell you from her former principal, I appreciate you giving her that advice.
Yeah.
Because we didn't have to worry about her showing up for work. We didn't have to worry about any of that. She was always there, always gave the extra mile for her kid. It was almost like she tried to do for those students what you did for her. And at the time, is that a fair assessment?
It definitely is.
So how do you see your kids? How do you feel like you can impact some of them?
Can I just kind of step back?
Yeah, of course.
How I met him. All right, so when I was in the 7th grade, like I told you before,
It's funny.
I was a band kid, had no concept of basketball, but kids like, you're so tall, go try out basketball. And I was like, okay, I will. And so I went and tried for basketball, and it was my 7th grade year, and I didn't make it. But I remember at the end of the trials, he made a statement. He said, some of y'all didn't make it. He said, but if it's something you really want to do, then go home, work on your game, and then come back next year. To me, I had no idea, like I said, concepts of basketball. In 7th grade, I was in survival mode. I mean, I had been through so much by the time I got to 7th grade. So 7th grade, like I said, I'm just surviving, just trying to make it day by day.
Stop. You got to stop right there. I know we got to tell you a story about him. But you are in 7th grade surviving.
Surviving. I'm surviving.
I told, when I wrote my book, I said that's when I first had my first bout with bulimia. 7th grade, survival mode. You have been done, nobody there, you're a 7th grader. And as a 7th grade teacher, you look at these little 7th graders, they cry because they drop their bubble gum. And here you are, surviving. So tell me, how did that impact your decision making? You're just in survival mode. What was going on in 7th grade?
So I had been, like I say, in my pre-show, I told you I had been abused. I was still being abused at the time. And so, like I say, come this guy is like, there was something about him that kind of was like, well, I mean, somebody finally gave me a beacon of hope. That one little statement, like, you may not be good at this now.
Woo, you gonna make me cry, girl.
But if it's something you really want to do, then you go home, you get better at the game. I don't know about basketball, but I was determined. I was like, somebody actually cares.
You know, you said to me one time that by the time you were 12 years old, you had decided that your body belonged to whoever wanted it. You shared that with me a long time ago. So you had no concept that you can make your own decisions.
Right.
But now I see you after the show, after you're free, or after you're getting to that place, you're saying your conversation is even different. You said you were able to recognize as a 12-year-old that was hope. Even if you didn't know what hope looked like.
Right.
So Coach, now, this is why this show was so important to me. 12 years old, at home, surviving. and you make a statement. So people out there need to understand your words matter.
Yeah, they do.
Beacon
you
of
gotta
hope, girl.
pick your words carefully.
Yes.
And yet I didn't know what she was going through.
Right, absolutely.
But I knew at that time I had to give her some encouragement, because I'm the type of person that I feel bad when certain people try out and they don't make it. So I feel like I got to give them some hope that it could happen next time. Just keep trying.
So parents, this for you.
Keep trying.
When your child don't make it, ain't no calling to school.
Right.
You heard what the coach just told you? Tell them, give what you need to the game and try it again.
There you go.
Ain't no calling somebody, everybody need to be a part of the team. No. Tell them, you see what happens once you teach them how to survive and go after what they want.
Yes,
they
right.
become Mangrams.
Right.
They become survivors. They become, I'm telling you, that is so good. Beacon of hope.
And once she made it, she became a dedicated ball player, a dedicated person.
All the
she
stuff
was
these
always
parents did.
there, and gave it all she
What
had.
did she used to bring with her when she came?
She brought determination.
Yeah, but what about her babies? What was her baby?
But that didn't happen until the 9th grade, right?
Ninth grade.
The 9th grade.
She played for you in the 8th grade.
I did.
And then when you went to the 9th grade, you had a what?
I had a kid.
Yeah.
Did you quit playing basketball?
Nope.
I was determined to
She never missed a beat.
I was determined to stay on the team. And the thing I loved about Coach Askew was, like I said, he always kept it real. He was raw, uncensored, uncut. He loved. You could tell he loved all his kids, regardless of if they played basketball for him or not. Like I said, he just always kept it real. And I was like I said, that was my beacon of hope. And like I said, when I tried out, I wasn't great, but when I finally got into it, he was a teacher. He was patient. I did mess up a lot, but like I say, he didn't say, well, you can't do this. It was like, go, like I say, keep trying till you eventually get it. So like I said, that was always like my little beacon. So I look forward to going to school because I could see Coach Askew.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was at the end of the day, but just that 1 hour time frame there, just to kind of just be in his presence and know that I was actually loved. Like, we didn't know what love looked like, but in a sense,
And let me say this: I didn't know any of that.
Didn't know any, but
I never knew what was going on in that head of hers. But I knew she was always there and gave it her all.
Well, I could tell by the look on your face when I shared with you part of her story that day I met you that you had no idea.
No.
But this is what's interesting to me, is that the words are very powerful, number one. But love, not knowing what love looks like, but you just want to go. It looks like a basketball player. It looks like a coach who got a good word. It doesn't have to be this long, drawn out. It doesn't have to be anything that we think it is. It could just be patience, because you don't know what a kid is dealing with at home, and you don't know what they're going through. I was okay. I was a little bad. I love to say that, but it was because I had a defense. My defense was my mouth and my I had to take care of me. I was a grown little girl. So nobody knew what you were dealing with at home, and nobody knew what I was dealing with at home. And so you meet this wonderful man, you have your baby, you still dedicated. And that's the part that parents need to hear. And maybe we need to title this show the Parent Academy, because the words you're using with Mangram today are persistent and dedication and showing up and consistency. These are things that we're not seeing a lot of in the society today, and I'll say it. And then you get mad when everybody want a trophy. It doesn't work that way, because now we're creating an alliance of people who just don't want to give it their all. They are not choosing to win. So you have your baby, you make basketball. How did college come about?
Well, I felt like I had to find some place for her to go, so I chose Huntington College in Montgomery. Because I wanted her to be in an environment where it was more that she could do her best. And when she got down there and met the coach was a really nice lady, and they told her she had to write an essay. What's the essay about? Why you wanted to go to college? And I said, well, she gonna nail that, because she's good ELA student. She's gonna nail that, and she did. Wrote a wonderful essay and got in school and played basketball all 4 years.
This is the point that I think people will miss. You didn't say, and they ain't gonna like me for this, because we love to say in the school, well, I'm not their parent. Not one time have I heard you say that, well, You know, I had to see what her mom was going to do. I had to see what her parents was going to do. You worried about her that time you had her.
I went and got her and took her down there myself,
Right.
personally, in my personal vehicle, to make sure she was there on time and had to do what she.
So it didn't matter. You didn't know
matter.
that what was going on in her home.
No.
You made a vested interest, and I do have to say that nowadays is quite different. Some people who are just not good educators have made it hard for educators to have that kind of relationship, to put a kid in their car. So we can't do those type things anymore, but you still can get involved. And I'll say that all educators are not bad. So it is the ones that have made it hard for us to do the kind of things that are necessary to get Mangrams to go to school.
That's right.
And I say that with a lot of passion. I do understand that when I would go to a kid's house, I take Crayon with me. Now I go.
I can say at that time I was very determined
That's
to get
it.
this child in school. That's right.
Well,
'Cause I knew that's where she needed to be.
And Coach, you had all right to be determined, and
Yeah,
God
I
had
was
showed
very
you
determined.
that her outcome, what she was good at and what she needed, and you met those needs, not being concerned about anything going on at home. And that's the part that I think separates good educators from people who are just doing a job. I don't care what they did before they get to me. That's not my concern. My concern, and apparently your concern, was what you can do once she got there.
There you go.
So now that's Mangram's concern. How do I know that? I was her principal. Not one time have Mangram ever brought me a kid that said, you know what, Dr. Bell, he was acting, you need to call his mom or something happened at home. I don't even think we had parent conversations when I was a leader, because that's not important. Parents are important, but that's not important to me for me to do my job. My job is to love kids. My motto, and Mangram knows it, love is the answer, no matter the question. So we talk about that. You on the basketball team, you go to Huntington College, you have 2 babies by now, you get in math, in graduation. Did you attend the graduation? Did you tell them you were graduating? How did that go?
How did that go?
I don't think he came to my graduation.
I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Look, I have kids that I do stuff for to get in college. And, you know, sometimes they feel like they're indebted to you. I'm like, look, I'm done my part of you. I move on. You know, like you said,
I
it's
don't
so
think
many.
when she got out of college, I don't think she had no idea which really, at that point in time after graduation, that she really wanted to be a teacher.
Right.
You know?
To be honest, like I told you before, I was determined when he told me, he's like, Mangram, you're going to be a teacher and a coach. And I told him, I'm thinking in my mind, those 2 things, Mangram's not going to be a teacher and a coach. So when I got to college, I went in a totally different direction, actually, in the beginning. But before it was over with, I think that those last 2 years, it was like, I mean, that was pretty much my call. Like, I knew that's what I was supposed to be doing. But at the time, in the beginning, I was going to prove to him I was not teaching, I was not coaching. But I remember back my senior year, first person to ever sent me to ISS
Was me.
was Coach Askew. I was an honor student. And I think, I don't know, that particular one, I was in the shop class. I had just had
He was in mechanical drawing.
mechanical drawing. I guess I had a bad night because I had those 2 kids at this point.
Oh.
I probably had work that night, but I don't know, I was just like in an ear mood, and he was trying to talk to him, but I just know I was just going back and forth. He told me, get out his classroom, what he said. And so he sent me to the office. He came to try to talk to me. So hindsight now, I don't think he actually sent me. I think I sent myself to ISS because, I mean,
Right, I was about to say.
because if I had to talk to him, I think we would have been okay. But the fact that I refused to talk to him at that moment is like, we're going to make an example out of you. First off, we're going to suspend you. And then you're going to ISS. Yeah, I'm like an honor student. A/B student. You tell me I'm going home for a day, and then I'm going to go to ISS. So I had made up my mind then. I was like, I was angry with him, and so I quit his basketball team.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I quit. Because you know, as kids, like we heard the adults when we do things like I quit, and so I did, and so I did quit. But then I went home and I thought about it, and I was like, you know what? I need him and his program more than.
Wow.
Yeah. And so I went to him and I was like, look, Coach, I mean, I made a mistake. I want to be a part of your program. And he was like, well, you know, I got these other girls here. We'll go take a vote and let them see, you know, if they, because, you know, the way you quit, I mean, we'll discuss it first and then we'll see. And I am grateful that his kids and the girls and my teammates did allow me to come back to be a part of the program. Like I said, that was like a...
well, you needed, you were a kid, even though you had 2 kids, you were still a kid.
Yeah.
You know, I look back now, I had my daughter so young. I wasn't as young, but I was still young. I made a lot of mistakes, but I was a kid. I mean, I had been put in an adult position, but I was a child. And so that's what we're looking at. And the biggest reason why I wanted you all to come back, I wanted the people to see you, and and we'll show the picture that you brought of her doing this part of the show. They'll be able to see that her on the basketball team. I wanted you to know, and I want people out there to know that teachers do make a difference.
They do.
They do make a difference. 39 years, Coach. 39 years.
And I do feel like I've impacted a lot of kids' lives, and they've impacted my life. You know, and it's just something that I really can't shake. That's why I've been in it for 39 years.
Right.
You know, because I love it. And I love working with young people.
So a lot of people, like, I went through it was just a hard time for me. It wasn't even about me. It was about, I felt like somebody pulled me up from my students and snatched me away. So now I feel, because when you're all some of them got. What if somebody would have come in and just snatched you out of Mangrams' existence because they're petty? Look at what happens when you impact. See, it's not about us.
No, it's not.
It's about the children.
That's it.
So Mangram, tell us, how do you feel now? I'm telling you, sis, if that's how they call it nowadays. You're poised. When we first shot you, we can go back and look at that tape. I don't know even if April remembers, but your head was more down. It was, you were proud of your son. We talked about him a little bit, but now you're sitting up straight. It feels good to tell your story, your time, your way. So do you feel like we've given you the opportunity to do that?
I do.
And I think you were ready because we had already talked about it and prayed about it and done different things about it. Coach, what do you want to see happen? What's next for you? Because I'm hoping that you come and join me.
I'll be honest with you, Dr. Bell, I want to still continue to impact kids' lives. As long as I'm on this face of this earth, I want to impact somebody's child's life in some positive way.
Well, I'm really looking forward to a
Yes.
Relationship and building a connection with you. I like what you stand for.
Yes.
I appreciate what you've done with my friend here, Miss Mangram. Miss Mangram, what can we see? You're track now. You're not basketball right now at the moment. You're just coaching track, right? Mm-hmm. How's that going? But hold up, let's go back. You did that little mile. You told a story because he forced you to run track, right?
He did.
And you were crying. Why were you crying? What did he tell you?
It was hard.
It was hard, wasn't it?
It was hard. So I was his mile runner, and so we was at getting ready to qualify for state, and it was tough. And so when I crossed the finish line, I was just boohoo and tears just dropping on my face. And he grabbed me by the shoulder and he said, "Mangram," well at that time Trammell, what's wrong? I was like, "You made it."
How did you feel after all these successful things that have happened to you through that? How do you feel? What would you say to a young lady who's going through some of the things that you're going through? Give her the courage to tell an adult. Because you didn't.
I did not. I was the person that I kind of just shut down and kept it to myself. But looking back now, if I had the opportunity, I think I would have shared some things. I probably would have shared it with him.
Right.
Right. Had I known.
Because
I had trust issues, so I think there was a lot of it. And so, I didn't really know who to talk to. But looking back now, I wish I really had told somebody. And just kept saying something to somebody to listen.
What about adults? What can we do I guess there's no signs. And I wish that kids would wear it on their back. There is no sign. You was with her every day, and there's no signs and things that could go through. But what do you want from us as adults? If you're that little 12-year-old girl, what do you want from us? And I'm saying this because I'm with kids, and Coach is with kids, and you're with kids. What did you give away any sign?
I think kids do cry in certain ways. I think for me, mine was just like, I got in a lot of trouble with the teachers, like my mouth a lot of times. I was like, I felt like they were the problem, I guess, because I was always getting harmed or hurt by an adult. So I was like,
stop right there. Very important, because we're giving an adult. You always getting into it with adults, and instead of them throwing you or just seeing you as a smart mouthy kid, somebody could just say, "Hey, what's going on with you?"
Mm-hmm.
A simple what was going on may have
changed the whole. And we're not saying, because I know we got a lot going on, but you were getting in trouble because you said adults were always hurting you, so they were the problem.
Mm-hmm.
That is so, I mean, I don't think we can make it any simpler. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying every kid that's giving you problems in school or being abused. However, it doesn't take a lot to ask. You know how I operate. But I love to sit down and talk to students and say, hey, what's going on here? What's this about? What you doing? So that could make a difference, couldn't it? Okay. Anything you want to say to Coach before we leave this? I am just so excited about this show. I am so excited. Anything you want him to know, Mangram?
Yes.
What's that?
First off, this is my absolute favorite person in the world.
Uh-huh.
I appreciate everything that you have done for me, and you continue to, even in my adult life, like you always kept up with me. I remember when I graduated college and I came home, and I was dating this guy, and you was like, Mangram, what are you doing here? Mm-hmm. And I was like, I don't know, Coach. He was like, he ain't no good for you.
Well, you know, I always tried to look out for you all, you know, the best way I knew how, you know, and when I saw stuff happening and I knew it wasn't good, I felt like I could let you know, because you always have listened, and I don't think that I know that I had your best interest at heart and in mind. Even
when you sent her to ISS, Lord,
even in the ISS,
even when she sent herself, man, what a powerful testimony, what a powerful story. Thank you for always looking out, Coach. Thank you for everything you've done in these 39 years of education. Thank you for being my friend. Thank you for sharing your story with me. I am so grateful to know you. I am so grateful to have met you. I can't wait for us to continue this working journey. It's not over for us, Coach.
Do it, cuz.
Oh, yeah. That's right, cuz. We're going to do it, cuz. Thank you so much for watching. This has been one of my favorite shows. Please go get anyone that you think, if you need help, cry out. Contact an adult, young people, older people, anybody. If you want to share your story with us, this is a platform. Go to my website, fnfministries.org, inbox me, go to Choose to Win, Empowering Moments. We're on there. We're so grateful to you. We're so grateful to you. Keep watching. We have more to come. Thank you so very much. As always, when you're making the decision and you have to win, you choose it. It is a choice. Just like my shirt. Winning is optional. Take care. Thank you.
Multiple fractures, what we refer to as segmental fractures, could have led to an acquiring amputation.